Hey, I'm ZSH Plays. Welcome to the islands. Today we are going on a tour of the finished islands area at San Bernardino Zoo. There is a lot in here to show you, some of it new. I can't wait for you to see it. Let's check it out. So here we are at the entrance to the islands, and I've got to say I'm pretty pleased with it. This incredible archway is based on a real archway in a place called Gilimanuk in Bali. And the real archway is even more impressive than this one. It's an absolutely amazing piece of architecture. I've never been able to find out how old it is, so if any of you guys know, please let me know in the comments. I think it's pretty old. I think it's been there for a long time, but I could be wrong. But yeah, just really pleased with how this came together. The concept for this area is that it is based on the island chains between mainland Asia and Australasia, so Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, Bali, all those places. They've got amazing architecture and amazing animals, and I wanted an area that would feature both of those things. And we've got some signage here showing us what else is in this part of the zoo. We've got paths going in 3 different directions. We're going to go down the main path first of all and check out the first habitat. This part of the zoo isn't yet connected to the rest of the zoo, so there are no guests in here. This is a little private tour today. So we'll check out the cassowary first. Tried to build a realistic, not too over-the-top habitat for these guys. And they had some babies recently, there we go. I'm very happy with how this one feels. It's really lush. We've got a ditch here to keep them in so they can't get over the wall. A nice little statue over there, and then there's shelters hidden away in the background there behind all the trees. Got some of Ramana Palacios's custom palms all around this area as well. They are so good, so much bigger than any of the palms in the game. So they work really well for sort of background and adding some interest. We've got our drone way up there. Take a look at the footage from that at the end of the video. That over there is the back of the Asian water monitor habitat, which we will look at when we get there. And then this is new, you guys haven't seen this yet. This is a little Indonesian street food area, so we can get some drink and food into the area. I'm going to put these up on the workshop, but they've got a one of the drink counters hidden in them, so they actually function. So we got some smoothies and some shakes here. Don't have an employee for that one yet because there's no guests here, so that'd just be a waste of money at the moment. Once we finish the Australian area, way off over there, then this will connect up to the rest of the zoo, and we'll have people in here. And we've got some signage for the Gibbon Islands, which is the first thing that we built here. There's also a little picnic area around here that I made just so the guests have got somewhere to sit. Let's check out the gibbons. So they've got 2 islands to live on. We've got this one right in front of us here. In fact, there's one climbing the tree now. Or 2 of them. And these connect over to another island over there. Oh, you can just see a siamang in the background in the Treetop Trail. But yeah, again, just try to make it as lush as possible. Loads of the stalactite pieces or stalagmites, whichever they are, which will gives us a nice natural looking island. You can't really actually build an island in Planet Zoo. You've got to have some land somewhere for the keepers to get in. So with this one, I've hidden it under some waterfall pieces. So I've designed it to look like it is an island. But if you look closely, you can see there is a little bit of land just hidden there. And then all the keeper access is hidden in those bushes here. IRL, you know, you'd need a boat or just a pair of waders to get to and from the island to get to the animals. As we go around here, we've got the Proboscis monkey habitat. This is a big old dome. Proboscis monkeys, very rare in zoos, very hard to keep alive. So I built them their own greenhouse where we can grow the special food that they need to eat. I don't think any zoos manage to keep them alive outside of the area where they live because they can feed them on the actual plants that they eat in the wild. So in this zoo we're going to grow them here. We've got some viewing here, and there we go, there's one swimming here. like to swim these guys, which is why they're in a sort of a separate dome that doesn't connect up to the rest of the water, otherwise they just escape. I think we've got about 10 of them in here now. Should have about 15 hopefully by the time we're finished. There's a load of custom mangrove trees that I made here as well, which they like to climb on. It's a pretty sizable habitat. It's bigger than it looks here because you can just see it away in the background. There's some more stuff behind the walls. And then this takes us round to the second Gibbon Island. There's a little one running up there. I really wish they would hang and swing more than walk on these things. Maybe they'll adjust that in a future update. But it's just great to have animals up in the air and actually climbing. And the way that you can get them to do that is basically on this island here is all of their food and no toys. And then on this island here is all of their toys and no food. And that gives them a reason to move between the two when they get hungry or when they fancy playing with some toys, basically. And they've got a shelter away over here, which they can get into from that island. And then we've got an implied entrance for the keepers there. That's not actually connected to anything. Moving around here, we've got the small-clawed otters in their little temple. This is a cute little build. I really like this one. I made a custom fountain there out of about 50 otter statues, which I thought was appropriate. And we've had some babies recently as well. There's one of them over there. I particularly like this wall. This is based on, again, on a real wall in somewhere in Indonesia. It might have been Bali, I can't remember. Can't remember where I got the inspiration for that one from. But I really like the colours and the shape of the bricks. I've hidden some enrichment items up both corners of the water as well. Got a little mud bath and a forage box. And they've got some little sleeping boxes in the back as well. Let's move on round now and go check out the Treetop Trail. So, these signs, I love these signs. These are by Lion. You can get them on the workshop. Probably the best set of sort of realistic generic zoo signs that I've seen. I use those a lot. So let's check out the Treetop Trail. So we've got some more signs for it here. Give you a bit of a clue as to what we've got in here. There's actually two animals in here. We've got orangs and siamangs. So round the back of the otters is where we come to this. This is the sort of little power and water area that powers this area of the zoo. And here we have the Treetop Trail. Another nice archway. I love a good archway, you can probably tell. And this is basically all raised pathing to get us as close to the animals as possible. This being Planet Zoo, especially with the orangs, it is very, very difficult to get them to climb. In sandbox mode, it's easier. You can basically design a habitat with no floor space at all, so they can only climb. But in franchise mode, you need a lot of floor space for them. So they tend to. We've got a siamang up there, but they tend to spend a lot of time down on the floor, unfortunately. So he might have just been climbing. There's a baby orang who likes running around up here a lot. I don't know if we'll see any of them up there in this video. We'll see if we get lucky. But the siamangs climb a lot more. So you can see one there now. And there's another orang down there. And the trail just winds all the way around. And you get really good views. I would love to go to this this habitat in real life. This is, oh nice. This is inspired by a habitat in the master plan for the Mandai project over in Singapore, which is connected to Singapore Zoo and lots of the other zoos that they have there. They have some incredible zoos in Singapore and they're going to be joining them all together. And I saw some concept art for an orangutan walkthrough, which just looked absolutely amazing. So this is heavily influenced by that. Although theirs looks a lot more natural than this, because basically I designed this so that the orangs don't have any opportunity to walk across anything up there because it looks crazy where you've got these giant apes walking on all fours across a little stick. Looks ridiculous. So the climbing's all designed so the orangs can only climb vertical structures, like you can see here, and then get onto these sort of round pods up here so they look more natural. And then the Siamangs have got access to the wires all around the top. But I'll put a cinematic in of the orangs using this because it's unlikely that they're going to happen to use it as we walk around it. Let's go and check out the Asian water monitor, which is one of the more recent additions to this area. I love it when you finish an area in the zoo and you go in and do all the little paths and the planting and all the stuff that you don't get done when you're building individual habitats, and then you can just walk around it and everything looks good. That's definitely one of my favourite aspects of this game, when something gets finished. So this here is the Asian water monitor habitat. They've got a big Indonesian style temple. We've got some underwater viewing here. That's where their feeder is. And this path with glass next to it goes all the way around, and it's designed so that when you stand here, the lizards are at eye level when they swim underwater to get their food. And then as you walk around here, the path increases in height, and you end up, there we go, with the water monitors at eye level above the water. This is a habitat I planned for a very long time. It was originally going to be for Nile monitors, but for various reasons I didn't build it when I originally planned it, and I'm so glad I didn't, because these water monitors are so much better. And the Nile monitors don't dive, so we wouldn't have had this little feature down there where they dive. You'll have seen a cinematic of them diving at the start of the video. It does look really cool. And then this is their shelter there, a bit over the top for a shelter, but I just thought it looked so cool that it definitely fitted into the habitat, and I was quite happy with it. We've got some big trees here. Reason for that is that the sun is there and it sets over there, so we need something to throw shade onto these viewing windows so that they are easier to see through. Basically, you get a really good view through here, nice and clear. And yeah, that's the Asian water monitors done. Let's go and take a look at the final habitat in the islands, which is for the Malayan tapir. We've got some anti-climb barriers up there as well to make sure that they stay in. Oh, I forgot, there's another viewing area here as well. If they're ever up this way, I put in one of the little sort of sneak peeks for kids, where you get a little low viewing window where they can see through easily. Some more signage. I thought that was cute. But yeah, onto the Malayan tapir. So we'll go back round through the entrance arch. So this is back to where we started the tour. And then through here, we've got some more signs there. Through here is where the Malayan tapir live. This here will be the Australian area, which we are going to build next. And for the Malayan tapir, I wanted to build a simpler habitat. Zoos don't always, even big budget zoos will have cheaper habitats. A little bit of signage there. So, you know, you don't spend millions on every habitat in the zoo. I mean, my zoo would have an enormous budget. Obviously, it's pretty ridiculous, some of the stuff in here. But I wanted to build a more realistic habitat here. And I really like this one. It's just basically some dusty terrain, a bit of a watering hole, some bamboo, a few trees, and a really simple guest viewing area, which gives guests a view whether they are on land or if they crouch down in the water. No baby tapir yet, but they need to get busy, but we should have some soon. And that is pretty much the whole of the islands area. We got some staff paths down there for access. This is the back of the Cassowary habitat. And this is the main staff building for this part of the islands. There's one more away down by the Treetop Trail. We've got another staff path in here that leads over to the Proboscis monkeys and their greenhouse. And then this brings us out back to the Gibbon Islands. Let's jump into the drone cam and check out where we were when we started this area, and then where we are now that it's finished. That is quite a difference. I'm really happy with this area. I really hope you guys like it. We'll be moving on, I think, to Australia next. So I'll see you again very soon for another episode of San Bernardino Zoo. Thanks for watching. Bye.